Hello, I'm continuing my crazy story and proposal for the government and the 7 ministries, etc. So basically, you got the picture, and the key point is again, I am amateur hyperglot of 15 languages. 10 of these 15 languages I learned in 10 days. I did about 3 years ago. I did a personal experiment of learning. I'm a little bit crazy ambitious. Learning 10 languages simultaneously in 10 days, average 1 language per day, including 3-4 most difficult languages in the world. I'm not saying I say fluently, none of them I speak fluently. I can speak at the survival level, meaning they can facilitate me to cover the math, ending the math poverty and all the pilot studies in all those rare languages. So in the Western European languages, I can speak only the 7 languages. Then the non-Western languages and like 6 official UN languages, 6 official UN languages I can speak. Original 5 members of BRIC country languages I can speak. Again, survival level. That's what it is. I'm not interested in languages. It's not even my hobby. I almost never studied the languages. What I care is originally when I run the pilot study about a decade ago, USL, I learned the Spanish speak for the first time, forced myself 10 hours of study to speak, and then I covered all these hundreds of students and make them jump like impossible. Well, I already told you the story, and I did it with my broken Spanish for the first time in my life. So after then, I don't have a doubt, I don't have a fear. I can pick up Western European languages in average at the survival level, not the fluid level. Again, I can basically speak in the 4 to 8 hours, more or less. I can speak in other languages. Romance languages 4-5 hours, Germanic languages around 8 hours. So, of course, I speak none of the Scandinavian languages. I speak none of the Eastern European languages except the Russian. I pick up everything like before. Basically, 5-10 hours, I'll be able to survive. And then I have ample time to improve, yes, my pronunciation, grammar, whatever, because I did all of things without teacher, without textbook. Sound crazy, but what happened is what happened. So feel free to, earlier I was thinking about sending this is a video, to only like 10 to 50 most developed country, USA, UK, France, Germany, Italy, this kind of country, only these kind of countries, and those languages only that I know, 7 Western European languages. Eastern Asia and other places, they'll be more complicated. So, yeah. And for the Asian Pacific area, like a country like Malaysia, Indonesia, etc. Indonesian I can speak, so Malaysian is very similar, shouldn't be a much a problem. I can cover, etc. So at the moment, this video is primarily for the Western OECD developed countries or some of the ASEAN countries. And if I don't speak the language, still you can invite me and contact me, because I can pick up, if you ever want to sound like a committed for the project, I pick up the language like a piece of cake. Next day I can speak. Today perhaps I can speak. So don't worry about it. And all the Scandinavian language countries, Germanic language countries, 6, 8, 9 hours, less than 10 hours, I'm sure I'll be able to speak based on my experience. So the language is not a key issue. Key point is I'm crazy enough, try to do this. If you run this simultaneously, the Ministry of the Education, Economy, and the Immigration, and the labor and all these things together, and especially if you're the first generation of the migrants, there is a big gap, math ability gap with the native, and you have your own limit. And when you run basically I'm going to focus more on how we run the pilot. So let's say average Western European countries, let's say, typically 25, 30, 35% of math poverty. US 34%, something like that. So let's assume 30% to bulk figure. So I'm trying to bring down the 30% math poverty rate, which you got worse instead of reducing. I'm going to shut it down to 15, 10% quickly, yeah, depending on of course your level of commitment. And the first round, let's say you are Germany German-speaking country or the Swedish, let's say. Swedish I don't speak. German I can survive. And in these languages, if you have first we can run it in your languages, and first for like 1 to 2 months pilot study. Yes, probably 1 or 2,000 participation, a few thousand from the who are the non-math poor, a few thousand math poor. I'm going to focus on them, then we go from there. And I'm sure I'll be able to convince you, and then you can scale from there. And the other thing is, once this is done, this is the first phase, and probably, because this is urgent, we focus on it, but again, you have a 10, 15, 20% of your students will be migrant students, 10, 20% probably first generation of migrant students, depending on your country again. And this kind of thing is, this is a serious bottleneck of your country. So they may speak probably, a lot of them may be Syria, from the mainland North Africa, etc. A lot of Muslim students, they speak Arabic, and the Arabic there are like 5, 6 dialects. I don't know any of the dialects, but I can more or less survive level of the modern Arabic, modern standard Arabic, Fusha, I can manage more or less. And then if I teach in Fusha, they will understand. I cannot understand what they speak, but we can use the translator, etc. But I can speak their language. At least modern, we can cover the Arabic that way. I don't speak Turkish, but if you are in Germany, and later on, if you want to cover all the German Turkish students, I pick up one day, I'll be fine, I believe. And that's Turkish. And how about a lot of from the Latin America in the future? And this is one of the alternatives you have to pay close attention. A lot of your students in Western Europe, for instance, right now is trying to shut down, closing up almost completely from the Muslim majority country. And I partially understand the national security is one of the top priority and going crazy over the past few years in many of these Western European countries. So, and then what are your alternatives? As I said before, you have a population crisis, economic crisis. You have no choice. You need migrants, and if you don't have the Muslim migrants, you have to migrants from somewhere else. So perhaps it's from the Ukraine, or from the Turkey, from the perhaps the South Asia, from the other group. So let's focus on, for example, Latin America. A lot of Latin Americans want to migrate to the European country, and you don't want all these math poverty students whose math average gap is 1 standard deviation, 4-5 years behind 3-4-5 years behind your national average. That is another headache. So basically, what I'm proposing is, let's try to collaborate in such a way to resolve the problem intelligent and peaceful way. And that is, I'm trying to make all the country happy. So let's say you are from Mexico or Portugal or whatever, El Salvador or Argentina. They want to study in Germany or France, etc., or Italy, and then the average math poverty is much worse than the Western European country. So basically, I try to persuade your government, and through you, all these Thai countries, Latin America, where they speak Spanish and Portuguese or something like that, I help them pick up your language first, obviously, and at the same time, I'm going to math poverty joint collaboration, sister country, math poverty first, and then implement the MMU certificate, so that they pass the certificate, they can be applicable in entire Latin America, entire Western Europe, entire offshoot Western countries like the US, Canada, Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, etc. No? And also it can be applicable to countries like in some Pacific Asian countries, poorer countries like, for instance, the Philippines, which they speak English, and India, which has math poverty, is at least about 10-15 years ago, math poverty was disastrous. So application, it can be anywhere. The point is, normally, your government, again, I'm not trying to offend anybody, the brutally reality, as I repeated many times, and all those, at least the PISA scores over the past 20-25 years, and the various way was the TIMSS score, whatever, there have been certain improvement, but math poverty in general have been disastrous, and what's happening is happening, and the government almost 100% failed, and at best the UK and the Ireland, just horizontal, all of them basically have been getting worse, 1 to 2 years. And if you talk about a few countries like Sweden and Norway, I believe they probably, or Iceland, lost like 2.5 years, 3 years, the equivalent of math got lost over the past 10 to 20 years. So let's face the reality, instead of saving the face, trying to save the face and pretend that nothing happened, and you can solve it with wishful thinking, which doesn't work. My petition, seriously, if you really want to save the future of your country, you have absolutely no choice. Math poverty got to end. That means, and then quickly, and instead of wasting next 30, 50, 100, 150, 200 years, let's get over with it 3 to 7 years, and at least the skillable, that basically changed the labor issue, and get rid of all the immigration crisis, and during your transition over the next 10 to 20 years to have enough babies with the MMU certificate or MMU, with this joint program with all these other countries, the MMU certificate, and then the OMU operation, they are reskillable, and in that sense, when the enough migration come out, you are not going to have this kind of major social crisis, social economic crisis. Do I make sense? I hope I make sense. I really love my idea, sorry, but I really love my idea. I'm proud of my idea, but there will be a severe sabotaging. Some people may not like it and hate it. No doubt about it. There are a lot of useless people around among the leaders too. So I'm not saying this for everybody. Somebody who has a certain level of intelligence and dignity and vision and honor to make an action instead of wishful thinking forever, getting something done concretely without all the bullshit and theories forever. Yeah. So basically, this what I wanted to say, and in total 5, 6, 7 videos probably I recorded over the past 40, 50, 60 minutes, and please try to watch it carefully and share to everybody around you. Next video, I'm going to focus more on the developing countries, or rich country but poverty is high, countries like MENA countries, things like that. But this one's a critical part of my first focus on the Western country, including Western Europe. And the Eastern Europe is relevant too. Eastern Europe, the situation is slightly different, but again, all these Eastern European languages, basically mostly Slavic languages. I can speak only survival level of Russian, but if you are interested in, it doesn't matter. Romanian seems to be easier, probably 5 hours I can speak, I suspect, but the rest of the languages is something like, it doesn't matter, the Bulgarian, the Serbian, Czech, Slovakian, whatever, Macedonian, I don't know any single about these languages, but I'm pretty sure in the 5, 7, 8, 10 hours, less than 10 hours, I speak a survival level. So don't really worry about the part is, I'm not going to bother. I hate to study languages because for me, waste of time is damn boring. I don't want to study, but if you commit, invite, I pick up. If I have to arrive tomorrow in your country, I pick up today, and I study in the airplane. I study. By the time I arrive, I speak. My listening will be limited, but at least I'll be able to speak at the survival level. That's enough for me. So thank you for listening to my crazy story, and try to all those 5, 6, 7, 8 part of video. Try to watch everything. Share to your colleague, ministers of your countries, and if you possible, suggest to the people in the EU as well. And if you really change the future of a country, I don't think you have an alternative. This is the best way as far as I can see. Thank you very much, and hope to see you soon. Have a good day.